Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. And today I've got what I think is a brand new design of a box. It's quite unique. I've made it up, basically. I've not seen this box anywhere else exactly the same. So yeah, I've come up with my own measurements like a big girl and everything. So to start off, you need a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. It is worth it, I promise you. So bear with me. All the measurements will be over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk, so if you miss any, don't worry. So your 12 by 12 cardstock, you want to cut to 12 by 10 inches. I always work in inches. And on the short side, we're going to score first of all at 1.5 inch. Let me just move my measurements there so I can see. 1.5, 3 inches and 7 inches. Pull my arm out. 7 inches and 8.5 inches. Okay, then you want to turn it that way around, and we are going to score. We're going to do some kind of different scoring. We're going to do some scoring now, but we're only scoring up to the 3rd score line. So you've got 1 there. Let me zoom out. You've got 1 there, 2 there and 3 there. So we're not scoring up to there. We're only scoring on this part here. All right? And that's really important because the top part is going to have different measurements, slightly different measurements. So scoring, I'm going to score from the bottom up to the 3rd score line, and I'm going to score first of all at 2.25. Just need to move some things out of my way. I've got my desks full. 2.25. So I'm starting from the bottom and I'm going 1, 2 up to the 3rd score line only. So 2.25, and I can just see, and I've got my little pointer on my score there. If you're not confident with the arm down, lift it up, hold it really firmly and use your score tool. So 2.25, then 3 3/4. There is quite a lot of scoring, so do concentrate on what you're doing. 3 3/4, 7 3/4, up to the 3rd score line again, 7 3/4, then 9.25. Okay. All right. And then we're going to start and score from the top down. And you've got these 2 bands here. They're 1.5 inches wide each one. So we're going back over from the beginning, and we're going to go to 2 3/16. Now the 16ths are the littler marks on the inches. You've got 8ths, you've got 16ths, you've got quarters, you've got halves, etc. So it's the smaller ones. So 3 of those. So there, that's 3/16, and this has you've got to take time and make sure you get that right. Otherwise, your lid on your box won't close. Okay, so we're scoring from the top down to the 2nd score line at 2 3/16. Okay, this would make an awesome class. I need to start doing face-to-face classes or retreats or something. So that was 2 3/16. Then we want 3 11/16, and you will see that it's giving you, it's just tiny little difference between that score line and that score line. You might think it doesn't matter, but it does. Okay, right, so now we're going to 3 11/16. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and there's no shame in counting it. I don't care. I will count it to make sure I've got it right, and I'll double check as well. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, 3 11/16. So it's just 1 mark before the 3 3/4. Okay, and again we're just going from the top and down to the 2nd score line only, and then we're stopping. Okay. And you've got to take your time and be careful, because like you've got a 1/16 of an inch difference there between that score line and that score line, and it's absolutely essential for the box lid to shut. So now we're going to go to 7 13/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there, 13. Okay, and down to the second score line again. All right, and you'll know you're getting it right because each one will just be a slightly bit bigger than that one. And then the last score is 9 and 5/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Okay, and score down to the second score line. Right, you really need to be careful with that bit and take your time. But once you've done that, the rest of it is easy peasy, dragon sneezy, I promise you. Right, so what you want to do first of all is you want to score and fold and burnish all of this section here. You can't do these yet, okay? You'll be able to do those in a moment when we do some cutting. Right, so I'm going to fold and burnish all of my score lines. I hope I'm not making it look really complicated because it really isn't, and if you just carefully follow the instructions you will get a brilliant box. Okay, and I've measured it within 1 inch of its life, so it will work. Right, so I can fold that one as well. Okay. So what you're going to need to do now is on the top section where you've got these different scores, you need to cut across from the second score line right up to the first score line, okay? So that will then release that section. Okay. Right up to that score line. So you're cutting a little bit past where you've scored there because you're cutting right up to that second score line, okay? And we're going to turn around and we're going to do the same here. So you've got these two rectangles, we're cutting along the second score line and we're cutting right up to that first score line there. So we're cutting slightly past the score line on there, which is a tab, okay? And that's really important that you do that correctly. So we're cutting right up to this score line, so it's slightly past that one, all right? And then what we can do is we can cut that section away. Okay, as we don't need that. All right? And then what we can do then is we can then cut that up to the second score line. Go right up to the second score line, past the score line on the tab. Okay, that's really important. And then what you can do then is you can then fold those tabs, okay, and continue and finish doing the rest of your scoring because you've released that. Alright, you just need to do that process first. And then what we can do is we can cut up there because that makes the tabs for the lid. So that is going to be your lid, okay? So then we're going to turn around, we're going to do the same at the other side. So we're going to cut these two long rectangles away. Because we do need them, okay? And this, now you can see you've got your tabs, you can just burnish that now. And you can burnish these as well because that's been released. Okay, and then you can cut up that score line there to create your tabs. Okay, so that's your lid. So you've got tabs there and tabs there. Alright, so the next process is we're going to create a bottom. So the first thing you can do is you can release these here. We're going to get rid of these two rectangles again, just the same as we did at the top. We don't need those. So it's just the same, except you've just got to take a little bit more care at the top because you've got slightly different score lines. If you make your score lines exactly the same, the lid won't close properly. You just need that little tiny bit of a difference. So we're getting rid of that, we don't need it. Praying to goodness I'm in shot. Oh dear me. And some days my videos are too light and some days they're too dark. I think I need to move my camera away from my camera is right in front of a bay window. So it's beautiful, I get to see the garden while I'm crafting, I get to nosy what the neighbours are doing, but it's not very good for filming. Right, so what we want to do now is release these two tabs. So your first thing you do is you cut up that score line there, up to there, okay, and then the same here, so that you can create two tabs, okay, okay. I think you're with me. Turn around that way. And we're going to cut up that score line there and up that score line there. So we're releasing those tabs. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to make sure I just trim out the score line so we can't see it. And that just helps you, it just helps things go together just that little bit nicer if you just trim out the score lines. Okay. I'm just double checking that I've cut everything straight. Just double checking. Yeah, that looks all right to me. Okay, so don't forget which is your top and which is your bottom. Your top is, it's got those score lines that are just slightly over these score lines. So this is your bottom. So what we're going to do first of all is we are going to attach that bottom like that. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive on these two tabs and then on the outside. Okay. So I'm going to use glue just because you've got a little bit more room for manoeuvre if you just be patient enough for it to dry. So we're just folding those over like so, getting them lined up nicely. If there's any overlap in there, just go back in and trim it off. I've just not cut mine absolutely perfectly straight. So I'm just going to go back in and I'm just going to square that off. Oh gosh, my hand-eye coordination's shocking today. Do apologise. If you cut it straight in the first place, that's not necessary. But you know, I can't seem to always cut straight. So, nothing like that. And I'm just going to trim off where I've not cut it quite straight. I'll just trim that off. Okay, there we go. That's better. I'm obviously a little bit cross-eyed this morning. Right, so make sure those are nice. And then you're going to attach these here to the side here. So each of these sides. So again, I'm going to use wet glue because I don't want it to all come undone. I want it to look nice. Okay. So it's, you know, take your time to make the project and wrap that around. Okay, make sure it's right up to the back score line and that it's flush on that score line, or else again your box won't shut right. Let me just move that up. I seem to have lost the will to, the ability to put anything straight. Is that straight? It'll do for now. Okay, and let's glue this one on. Bit more glue. Because that's, I've faffed about, it's probably dried out. Okay, so we're going to attach that to that side. And it should just wrap round, and that one I've got managed to get that one on straight first time. And then just go inside and press, and these are like little doors. Okay, just make sure it's right flush back, make sure that glue's dry. Okay, so I could have done with a bit more glue there. I might go back in after. So now we're going to do the same with the top. So we are attaching the flaps together to make it in a box shape, okay? And you want these flaps here to go on the top of these. So the first flap goes on top of the second flap. And that way it'll look neater, okay? So So fold it around. Make sure they line up nice. It should be nice and square. See, I've got that one perfect. I've cut that one straight. My bottom ones I didn't. I must have cut them on the wonk. But never mind. Just make sure you line that up. Just give it a minute to dry. And then do the next one. Okay. And there we go. Okay. I've made a few of these, and once you get going, they don't take long. Once you figure out exactly where you're cutting and gluing. Right, so what we have now is we have our box, and that one folds over that one. Or do we have it that way? What have I done with my sample? So you've got one door that's longer than the other, and that's done on purpose so that they meet nicely, and then the lid will shut down like so. Okay, alright, so now we're going to decorate it. Right, so for the lid, I'm going to cut into some of my beloved, the new one, Magnolia Lane. It's stunning. So let me just check my measurements here. I thought I'd pre-cut these, but no, I haven't. So for the lid, I need it to be 4 inches by 1 3/8. Is that a 4-inch piece? Let me have a look. No. Okay. 4 inches. So I'll cut my piece to 4 inches first. By 1 3/8. 1 3/8. 1, 2 there. Okay. And that will just go on the lid. And this paper is absolutely stunning. So that piece is to go on there, like so. I need to do one for the lid as well, don't I? It should be the same. Let me just check. Let me get that on nicely. 4 by 1 3/8. 1, 2, yep. Yep. So I want another one. That is 4 by 1 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. I'm having to think now. 1, 2, 3. When I start having to add things up, I have to concentrate. For a paper crafter, I'm a little bit number blind sometimes, and I start to get a bit thick. There we go. So that's layered on there beautifully. And I just get that straight. Give it a press. Shouldn't really be doing it on my trimmer, but there you go. Not to worry. And then for our little side panels, I need 1 3/8 by 1 3/8 times 2. Okay. 1, 2. Let me just check. 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. 2, 3. And I need 2 of them. 1, 2, 3. I never assume that I know exactly where a measurement is. I always double check, because when you start assuming, that's when you get things wrong. Okay, so that one goes on the side there. And I've just done a 1/8 of an inch increment. So if you want it a bigger increment or no increment, then change the sizes. I always do 1/8 of an inch when I'm layering on boxes. And this paper is absolutely stunning. Beautiful. I didn't really want to chop into it, and then I was thinking, no, it's just paper, get it cut. Have that one going that way. You know, because it's there to be used, not to be stroked. Otherwise, you know, you're wasting your money. You want to make beautiful things with it. and then you can hoard the project or pass it on and make somebody's day. Right, so that's my lid done. Very, very beautiful. Look at that already. Okay, and now we're going to like do that piece as well. So that is 1 3/8 by 4. So I want it to be 4, and I want 1 3/8. I want this bit here. So 1 2 3, 1 3/8. That. Let's move that. The rest of the paper layers I have pre-cut, you'll be glad to know. Okay, we'll stick that on there. Alright. That wanted to be a little bit smaller. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. No, wants to be smaller. So it wants to be 3 7/8. That one does. Not happy. It wants to be 3 7/8. I'm changing the measurement. 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. I think that's right. Yeah, 1 3/8. 1 2 3. I didn't like that. It was too big. It is just slightly smaller. I don't know what I was thinking. Right, that'll be right now. And we'll have a nice, there we go, nice tidy little, I like to have a really even border all the way around. If I'm going to do a job, I like to do it right. Okay, so that's that bit. So now we're going to just decorate the outside. Okay, you could leave it just like that. It looks beautiful, but you know, I want to use this paper. It's gorgeous. So we've got the side panels, we've got the right flap, the left flap and the back. I've already done these. So the back is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. More of the beautiful Magnolia Lane paper. We should be able to speed it up a bit now because these are pre-done. Okay. Oops, get out of my way. So this is for the back, and this is a pretty one of the pink ones, and it will go just beautifully. Okay, let me just layer that up and get that straight. Okay, you'll often find that sometimes I'll do projects and it always looks like it's going to be a bit of a disaster until it's really nearly finished. There is always method in my madness. Right, we'll do the sides, and now you want 2 of these, and they are 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. Okay, so we'll get these on. I don't have any snail. I want to, well, I'm wanting to gift this. I'm sending it on to somebody. So I wanted it done right, even though it's a demonstration. I am going to be gifting it. So that's why I'm probably taking my time. I might have done it a bit quicker. Normally, and used snail rather than glue. But if you want a job doing right, use wet glue. So this is the second one. It's the same size. It's 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. Okay, and that will go on there. It doesn't really matter which way up this one goes because it's one of those kind of papers that lends itself to being either way up. Now let me just press that. Okay, so there we've got the back covered and the 2 sides. Now we're going to do the flaps. So the left flap measures 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. I don't even look how long I've been filming. This could go on for a very long time. It could, might not. So that will layer on there. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. She says worrying about it. Okay. Am I still in shot? I'm sorry, it's a little bit dark. Oh. I don't open my blinds or we'll all get like, you know, blinded by the sun. It's beautiful here today in Yorkshire. Right, so the right flap is 3 7/8 by 2 1/8. And we're nearly there. Except if you wait, I'm going to show you how to make the items that are going to go in the box as well. So, you know, you're getting double bubble today if you stick around. Double bubble. Right, so that is our box. Okay, how beautiful is that? So the right flap folds in, then the left goes over the top, and then the lid shuts. You've got 2 different kinds of DSP there. It's been measured within its life, within an inch of its life, so it all fits beautifully. Okay, just a shame about the light. Now that lid will stay shut on its own, but we're going to add some ribbon to help it stay closed and to make it look really pretty. And I've picked the variegated ribbon. However, I'm going to quickly show you what we're going to put in it. And I have pre-made some of these. Let me show you how beautiful they are. And these are some little note cards, and these are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, super simple. So what you need to do is you need to cut your cardstock to 7.5 by 3 7/8. Score it at 3 7/8. Then you need to cut your DSP to 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Okay, let me just spread those out so you can see them. And I've done one in all of the main papers there. Okay, they're stunning. So let's get that on there. All right. And that will just layer on there beautifully. Look at those lovely papers. So you can put in a set of cards I've made. How many have I made? 6. Okay. Now if you want to make envelopes for them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my envelope punch board. I'll look up on one of the websites where you can get the measurements, and I'll see what the measurements are for a 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 inch card, and it will give me the dimensions, and I'll use copier paper and just do them in white and just make them to go in. I'm not doing that on camera, it'll take me even longer. So I'm going to make my sentiment. I'm going to pick one of my scraps. Alright, and I'm using this lovely new punch, which is called Timeless Label. I've written it on so I don't forget. And I'm going to punch that out. Okay. And then I'm going to use my beautiful Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. You'll be able to get this on the 4th of June. Also, I am doing my Stamping Selections kit on this beautiful suite. So when you see that advertised, if you fancy it, give me a shout. And I'm using Thanks. I've already got it mounted on a block, and I'm using Memento ink. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. It gives you a nice crisp image, does the Memento. It's lovely. Okay, there we go. Put my lid on that. And then we just want to add some dimensionals. Okay, just 2 is enough. And those are just little note cards. You know, you could put whatever sentiment you want on them, but the DSP there is enough. You don't need anything else. You don't need loads of fancy stamping. It looks beautiful already. Alright. Okay, so that is my set of 6. Let me just reach and make sure my phone is on silent, because if somebody rings me and spoils this video, I'm going to fall out with them. So 1, there we go, 2, 3, 4, how beautiful is this paper? 5, and 6, there we go, beautiful. And they will fit inside this beautiful box, okay, in there, and you've got room for either more of them or your envelopes. You could put anything in there. You could put soap in, you could put jewellery in, you could make a notebook, you could even make a little mini album and put that inside there. Okay, so we close the lid like so. I'm going to get some ribbon and wrap it around just to reinforce so that it doesn't come open, although it does stay shut with that lovely lid. Okay, and I'm going to tie it, let me get it even, tie it in a bow like so. I want it that way, I think. This ribbon's beautiful, absolutely lovely. Like so. My fingers are a little bit sticky from all the glue. And we're going to tie a bow. Beautiful, beautiful bow. Just slide it along there a little bit. And like so. Now you could add another sentiment on there that's the same as the cards inside. I'm not going to. I think that is really lovely. So I hope that you will take the time to watch this video, and I hope that you will give this a go. I think it's a really beautiful box. I've not seen one exactly the same, so go and have some fun. I need to lie down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.